finally here, the day most of us have been counting down to. It's Friday, and we are starting the weekend with an electric vibe. Me and my people.
Definitely. And of course, everyone knows that Fridays are for winding down on the week, and we hope that you've had a splendid, eventful week so far, and that you've earned the rights to explosive weekend, which is just up ahead.
Yes, and if your week hasn't been spectacular in any way, you can use this weekend to set things in motion for the coming week with the right attitude and the right vibe.
Talk about attitude. You've got the attitude this morning.
Yo, I'm super excited.
Where's your little yellow bag?
I took it off.
Beautiful bag. You guys, you should see it. Very nice. I liked it.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, guys, so get ready for a refreshing weekend edition of your premium breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria. My name, of course, you know already, is Mazina Appeal.
And I am the Tokwe Olonio. You can stream the show live at tvcentertainment.tv. And guess what? If you're on Facebook, you can connect with us at TVC Connect.
Oh, yes. And also send in your comments. We like to see them. The hashtag is Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, on social media, across every single board. How many people do you have a crush? Okay, no, the other one is... Okay, that's you.
The number of people does not matter now.
Hey!
My own was 54-year-old. Did you see my... Okay, it was my picture of Salma Hayek, man.
Oh, she's 54 years old. I saw that picture. And I'm like, no, it's impossible.
She's 54, man.
I can't believe it.
He always goes for women that are out of his league.
What do you mean out of his league?
dreams, your dreams.
But that's the idea. Wait, that's the idea of crush. So if you are easily... If your crush is easily accessible, it's no longer a crush again.
It should be accessible.
It should be fantasy.
I always feel that if it's a dream, I must achieve it.
This one is Trevor Noah.
It's not Trevor. There's too many. There's Trevor Noah. Then there's
John. What's his name now? John Wick. The Rock.
He does the new one.
The Rock. The Rock, really?
I didn't know that.
I know Ken Reeves.
I just don't know how you plan to achieve.
I know
it's achievable for her. Don't worry.
It's achievable.
If Ken Reeves.
Polyandry.
Leave her now, don't worry.
Exactly.
It's
Like, I don't understand.
There's a running joke we know. Ken Reeves. Poop. Trevor Noah. Poop.
What the hell is that?
We know. Alamide knows. It's an inside joke. She knows.
By the way, I like what you're wearing. What's this? Your own tributes to Boseman?
Yeah, definitely,
Fantastic.
definitely. You see, I want to say something that, you know, someone spoke about, talking about when I go, I want to be remembered for something. We are on the screen, so when we go, we will still have a lot of us that people will be able to access. So we want people to say good things about us. But then this is one man that, in his death, that's when we knew how great he was. So it's emotional, but it makes me smile because it's something that we can all
relate with.
Another thing is, I think another thing his death taught me was your friends. What kind of friends do you have? Are your friends true to you? Because you have friends that you tell them a secret, and it should be a secret, but you hear it from outside. But with his death, we realized that his friends knew, but they kept his secret. Those are the kind of people.
Those are like the biggest supporters.
In fact, talking about it, Marvel didn't even know.
They didn't.
Imagine.
So I was wondering what the impact was on all of their upcoming productions.
It's going to be a lot because actually a week before he passed on, they had already started. In fact, they were done with pre-production for Black Panther 2.
Okay. So
they're done with pre-production. So they're already getting ready. He was sure he had the hopes that he would fight it through and get done with Black Panther 2. So Marvel didn't even know because there's no insurance for him and all of that, even though they would do whatever they wanted to do, but they didn't even know. I think he had a particular director, about 4 people. His first director, the one that directed him for 42, you know, 1 or 2 other people, and he ensured. They might have suspected, but hey, they didn't know that it was this issue that was probably going to be terminal. And then we spoke to Dr. Kuti the other day, who said that it's actually curable. Depends on how early.
You just have to notice and snip it in the bud. It's actually very rampant. A lot of people walk about carrying, knowing that they have, not knowing rather that they actually have, because they haven't actually gone for a check. Especially when. I learned a lot from that interview you had with the doctor. I did some more research, and I think we should all do that. Let's find out exactly what's going on in our bodies, do some checks. Checkups is not something that's in our culture. We're always too scared to go to the hospital.
I don't think blood
like,
of Jesus.
Blood of Jesus
is not going
to... It doesn't come in a bottle, blood of Jesus.
We take even the littlest things for granted, as little as just a little pain in your tummy. You say, oh no, it's gonna go. And then it lingers. Oh no, it's gonna go. And then you pray about it.
And then you say it's your
village you say, and then sometimes it's always the fear of having to, invest some monies into
spend kind of money
into treating whatever it is. But the earlier you nip it in the bud, the better.
So this is one real moment you should off your mic.
The fact is,
it gets to me
as Nigerians, we don't have that culture of having health insurance. Health insurance is something that people are like you said, blood of Jesus is always just in your medicine cabinet.
Anointing oil.
So if you had health insurance, it's something you can actually go for a yearly checkup at the hospital. But then again, when it comes to health insurance, there are levels to it.
Yeah, but
some health insurance.
You know what? Leave health insurance first before people say, I don't have health insurance. Nigerians are very good at finding excuses. What about a normal general checkup? I remember a laboratory company put up on social media how they were doing 20,000 naira for full body check. If you want to say 20,000 naira is even too much, okay. Can you just break it down that every quarter you do this part of your body, you do that part of your body, you do that part of your body, you at least do something, check different parts.
We have to head over to the news now quickly.
Okay. We'll talk about plenty more about that when we get to do the entertainment roundup. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do the news. Commercial cab drivers in Ogun State have staged a peaceful protest to the state governor's office, Musa Belkuta, to complain about the hardship created by sudden increase in the fuel pump price to 162 naira per litre. They say they find it difficult to increase the fare, but want the government to allow them carry up to 3 passengers at the back seat instead of 2 passengers allowed by the government in compliance with the COVID-19 social distancing guidelines. The Chief of Staff, Shuaib Salisu, appealed to them to continue to toe the path of peace and endure the difficult times.
Oh, the fuel is highly increased. It's about the rate of 148 before, and now it's 162. We are pleading and we are begging the government, because as this is going on now, there will be problem for us, because the public that we are carrying, they are not ready to increase the fare of the transport, and it's giving us problem.
Our passenger, they can't avoid the price we are supposed to carry it, and we didn't have choice to manage it like that, because if you didn't manage it like that, when the time goes, we deliver, and we buy fuel, we repair motor.
We will let the federal government know that you have some concern about the recent increase, but I also want to have the understanding that the same government reduced the pump price a few months ago in response to market forces. But most important is that you are able to buy these products without any agony. You drive into a filling station, you buy at 160 naira. It's far, far better than to queue up. Globally now, we have over 25 million people who have been infected. And thousands of people have died. These are not just numbers. These are human beings. And therefore, any measure taken to minimize the negative impact of COVID will require the support of all of us.
The federal government is set to merge the Petroleum Equalization Fund and Petroleum Product Price and Regulatory Agency into one body called the Authority. Minister of State Petroleum, Timi Priye Silva, disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja. Mr. Silva spoke on the need for deregulation, which in turn has now led to an increase in the price of petroleum products. He noted that the country spent over 1 trillion naira on subsidy, and its removal was the only option to guarantee economic survival of the country. As an alternative to fuel, the minister urged Nigerians to use the liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, and the liquefied natural gas.
You think that the solution to feel this increase so much, because by the time you get used to gas to fuel your car, which probably will be like half the price of petrol, you probably would never think of petrol anymore.
Delta State Commissioner of Police has confirmed the death of a notorious cult member whose killing rampage 2 weeks ago left no fewer than 12 people dead. The police say their action to end cultism in Delta will be sustained until the last cultist is brought to justice. Hafiz Inua stated this while receiving a group, Bring Back Our Youth, who staged a walk against cultism in the state capital.
There have been court-related violence in Delta, especially the state capital, Asaba, as several lives have been lost through killings of rival cults. The menace of violent crime inspired by the evil of cultism has been a challenge for residents of Asaba and its environs in recent times. Today, these young people say the state has had enough of the unrest and demonstrated their resolve with a walk through the major roads of Asaba.
So we engaged the young ones in this our program. We tend to bring back our youth because we've gone so far in these negative vices like cultism, drug abuse, rape.
We also want our state governor and government and House of Assembly to also lend a voice by activating laws against cultism. Because the truth is that in Delta State, there is no punishment for you as a cultist.
A representative of the Youth Commissioner is here to identify with the group as part of the state government's support to their intervention.
I feel it's a welcome development and it should not just end here. It should be a continuous thing.
The group finally stopped at the State Police Command to urge the police to put a stop to the menace. Here, the Commissioner of Police explains what his officers and men had done up to the moment.
I am here to warn each and every cultist in Delta State that whoever you are, the long arm of the law is so elastic that it will get hold of you. If you are not part of those who will caught today, definitely will be after you.
The commissioner also noted that the police, as part of its corporate social responsibility, is taking the campaign against the ills of cultism to primary and secondary schools. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.
And indeed, that's it on the news update for this hour. We'll take a break now and return. Indeed, you're welcome. So let's take a look at the headlines for this morning. If you please, madam.
All right. Today is Friday, the 4th of September, 2020, and we're starting off with the Punch. Further petrol price hike likely, marketers warn Nigerians. TUC says government action wicked, demands immediate reversal. We can no longer fund petrol subsidy, says federal government. Photo stories here showing filling stations with the adjustment in fuel prices in Lagos and Abeokuta as at yesterday, Thursday. At the bottom of the paper, we have unions appear as Unilag panel grills Babalaki for 4 hours. Police threaten surveyor for reporting extortion to Punch. Government schools will drop common uniforms November 9th, says Oshun. And to the top of the paper, we have international flight. Federal government bars Air France, KLM and others, approves 14 other airlines. PTF approves phased reopening of schools, other risk assessments. 17 vigilantes killed, 23 bandits gunned down in Niger and others. Finally, we have water bill hearing, SANS, others warn reps against illegalities. You can get a copy of the Punch and keep yourself informed.
All right, now let's do the Nation newspaper for a Friday. Anger grows as government defends petrol power rates increase. Market forces now determine prices, tariff, Senate may reconvene. At the bottom of the page here, Lagos Ogunsick Buhari's nod to fix toll a Lagos Auto Abeokuta road. And at the top of the paper, Abiru Ibezim Ibebi win APC senatorial tickets, party gears up for by-elections. Air France, Lufthansa, others barred foreign flights back Saturday. And Zenith Bank posts 103 billion naira half-year PAT. Ocean reverses common school uniform policy. And just by the picture here, you can see this headline: government lifts restrictions on markets, stores, cinemas, gyms to reopen. Curfew now 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. And those are the headlines inside the Nation. What do you have?
Okay. Moving on to Daily Sun this morning. Still on the headlines, we have anger in NAS over fuel price, electricity tariff hike. TUC kicks nationwide protest looms as CUPP mobilizes civil society. Motorists, commuters groan. At the bottom, we have COVID-19. Federal government okays gradual reopening of schools. Curfew now between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. in Abuja and Lagos. Bottom here, we have bandits kill 23, abduct 12 in Niger. Edo gubernatorial judge withdraws from suit seeking disqualification of Eze Iyamu. International flight resumptions. Federal government bans Lufthansa, Air France, others from Nigeria. Illegal construction. Lagos seals 16 buildings, serves 3 container terminal notice. And to the top of the paper, and finally, we have security agents killing our members secretly, IPOB alleges. Grab a copy of Daily Sun today and get your accurate information.
Vanguard now. Insecurity. Bandits operate for 12 hours. Raid bank. Kill 23. 6 killed in Kajara, Rafi LGA. 17 others cut down at Duku Magama LGA. Commercial bank raided. Unspecified cash carted away and 6 bandits killed, says CP. It's a myriad of headlines here. We'll try and see how many we can take for the Vanguard. Badger asks Ghana to revisit law on $1 million business capital. And TUC action aid others reject new fuel prices. Petrol stations adjust pump. Tico rejects new electricity tariff, says it's ill-timed. To the side of the photo story here, Nigeria will suffer if judicial officers are neglected, says the CJN. And Unilag, Babalakin, Asu, Nasu, Sanu appear before panel. To the photo story, it's a picture of canoe peddlers evacuating properties of the residents of Kigo Road area after a heavy downpour in Kaduna just yesterday. And of course, Obaseki's 1.5 billion naira loan bid for vote buying, APC alleges. Allegation is campaign of calumny at the government and group party Lord Oba of Benin over peace deal. And that's as much as we can take for this hour inside of the headlines.
Yes.
You can join us for the second hour when we do it again, myself and Tokwe, hopefully.
Of course, yes.
So do stay tuned. It's Wake Up Nigeria, and we'll be right back.
Hello, welcome back. This is Wake Up Nigeria, and of course, it's that time of the show where we update you on the traffic situation in and around Lagos. And of course, I've got the gang in the kitchen, and they'll be updating us on Twitter. Hello, guys. Mike, don't be smug.
I've told you this thing before. Right, go ahead.
All right, guys, let's get to it quickly. Okay, so if you're around motorways at this time and approaching Oworonshoki, the traffic situation as you approach Chinatown is not so bad. It's pretty light at this time, and I wonder why. But the traffic situation is light just as you approach Chinatown and as you make your way to Ogudu. The traffic is light. And just as you approach, let's see here, Ogudu, I can see a bit of traffic just at that Ogudu diversion. You know, there is traffic there, and I'm guessing that's because of motorists who are also trying to apply that Ogudu route. But let's see what the Oworonshoki area is like. Just as you approach Oworonshoki, traffic situation isn't bad at all. It's pretty light, and I wonder why. I can see light traffic on 3rd Mainland Bridge. Is it open yet? I don't think so, but I wonder what's going on. I guess maybe this are just trucks packed on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. But well, all round, if you're making your way to the island this morning and you're taking the Oworonshoki route, the traffic situation isn't bad. While I check on what the Lagos Ikorodu Expressway is like, guys, I don't know if you have any updates on Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have
any updates on Twitter?
Okay.
Okay.
None. Right, so, just to support what you said about the 3rd Mainland Bridge, you might be getting on it and thinking that you've got plenty of time, but just before you get to the end of it, it's really going to change because there's an entire stretch before the Ebutemeta exit all the way into Ring Road, and it is going to take you quite a while to get to the island. Generally across Lagos, it's heavy traffic today. CMS has got that long line of traffic all the way over the Eco Bridge on both sides, whether you're going or you're coming. So you want to calculate that into your ETA as you're setting out this morning. Today, Friday, I think first week in September, there's something happening out there today. We don't know what it is, but if it's a party, let us know. No, we can't go.
Thank you very much, Mazino. Quickly, I'm going to wrap this up, but the Lagos Ikorodu road this morning isn't, the traffic situation there isn't bad at all. It's quite free-flowing, not what I expect, but so far, so good, just as you make your way towards Chibowo. And that's it on Traffic Update for now. Guys, I know that we have so much to talk about. What's going on? Okay, so we'll kick off something quite interesting, and it started in the world of sports. Equal pay has always been a point of discussion, between, people around the world. Equal pay for men and women, in different things. And sports was where it was really brought to the front burner in recent months and maybe years. And so far, it's shocking that some people had already started implementing it without even letting so many people know. England said since January, they've been paying the men and the women the same amount. Brazil is now saying they'll do it. Now, what it means is that somebody who is a superstar, like a Neymar, would receive the same amount as a Mata whenever they play for their national team.
National team,
yes,
not
club.
And
that is mega. It's massive.
It has a plus and minus side. So when the discussion started, I wasn't so much for it because the US sued their association, but they had to have equal pay. But you see, football, especially sports, this is for sports now, pay is dependent on revenue that you bring in. And the men bring more revenue. So that was just the argument. That's why the men's association said,
because I was looking for the logic there.
We'd earn more because we bring more money. We have more fans. They pay more to see us. That is the only reason why.
These are for international players, yeah?
Yes, international players.
Not like local.
Not like international players.
So how's Nigeria going to fit in here? So what are we going to do when it comes our turn to now start?
If I'm getting this right, you're saying like is it Kelechi Iheanacho and an assistant
will
earn the same amount?
They so that's what a lot of associations are pushing
what they're
for
implementing.
Now. That's what they're trying to push. So some few countries have implemented it. England has been doing it since January. Brazil is about to start. Austria has been. So a few countries are doing it. So everybody, the US is not yet.
Let's bring it into secular jobs now. In Nigeria, we know that men and women, there's that disparity as well.
There's that disparity.
Is there any logic behind it? Is there? Because this one you're saying sports now is based on revenue. And
yes, I feel
if the male team play more and bring in more revenue, then it makes sense.
It makes sense. Exactly. That was just it for me.
How about in workplaces in Nigeria?
I mean, that's why women are constantly. That's why women are constantly, seeking for equality across board, even though sometimes it is misunderstood. And
very much.
Yes, it's very much misunderstood. But all we're asking for is equality. I want to earn the same thing
as somebody on my colleague on the same level.
So now, be like, say,
but this women, they
our salary.
They actually earn more than us.
I'm going to be rich.
But luckily, we actually, are in an organization that, really, considers the welfare of its employees. I mean, they put it into consideration. They are very, very, they work towards it. I mean, with the Great Place to Work mandates, they are really, really pushing for, equality, in the workplace where everyone's welfare is being looked at, and, there's a fair package for everyone. Like, everyone is treated equally.
Exactly. So for me, I would say, for the sports owner, I'll still keep to it because I feel like it's just rational. That's for me because, I mean, when you look at to encourage. Maybe I would say yes. Maybe if the women feel that they should be looked into. But it's going to be hard because look, it's all about what you bring to the table.
Yeah, but you know what? I thought about it and I was like, can't some of those men earn too much money? You earn too much money. Sometimes you can just say, can we just share it? Like, can we just share it to the women's team?
Okay, yes, it is time to take the news. What a way to start. But hey, we're going to do this. The federal government is set to merge the Petroleum Equalization Fund and Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency into one body called the Authority. Minister of State Petroleum Timi Silva disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja Mr. Silva spoke on the need for deregulation, which in turn has now led to an increase in the price of petroleum products. He noted that the country spent over 1 trillion naira on subsidy, and its removal was the only option to guarantee the economic survival of the country. As an alternative to fuel, the minister urged Nigerians to use the liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, and the liquefied natural gas.
We think that the solution to this pain should be a little bit more sustainable. And the sustainable solution is to create another kind of fuel that is cheaper and cleaner. So we are achieving two things at the same time: cheaper and getting closer to cleaner fuel, to the global trend. We are actually introducing a fuel that is cheaper and better. So we are introducing that choice to Nigerians. In the end, I don't think that people will even feel this increase so much, because by the time you get used to gas to fuel your car, which probably will be like half the price of petrol, you probably will never think of petrol anymore.
The new pump price announced by the Petroleum Products Marketing Company means Nigerians will now have to pay more to buy petrol. The subsidy of NNPC, or rather subsidiary of NNPC in charge of pricing, pegged the new price at which products is sold to marketers at the depots at 151 naira 65, or rather 56 kobo. Motorists are already groaning over the new pump price and calling on the federal government to halt this increment and reduce the current hardship Nigerians are facing every day.
I feel very bad. It's so terrible. Our economy has gone down. The masses are suffering. Why should they increase the fuel price now that people need more assistance? So many things has gone wrong, so many things has gone bad. I think this is the right time for the government to come out and help the masses and not increasing the fuel price and everything.
The fuel price, in fact, I cannot lie, it's too difficult for us. Because all this while we're there for lockdown, there's no business, nothing they move at all. Suddenly they can't increase the fuel price. It's not okay for us. We are crying.
At this moment, we expected the government to even reduce the fuel pump other than increasing it. That is what ought to be as is applicable in other climes. So we just hope that the government will do a rethink and jettison the increase and reduce the fuel price.
It's affecting me too much, because even if we buy the fuel of 3,000 naira, hardly we can even get that 3,000 back. Very, it is unfair, sha. Things are pretty difficult as they are, and any further increment in terms of goods and services is definitely going to make life a bit more uncomfortable for the less privileged. I am calling on everybody that's involved to have a rethink, because it's good for us to consider the very vulnerable in the society and try to do things that will uplift them a little bit.
Delta State Commissioner of Police has confirmed the death of a notorious cult member whose killing rampage 2 weeks ago left no fewer than 12 people dead. The police say their action to end cultism in Delta will be sustained until the last cultist is brought to justice. Hafiz Inua stated this while receiving a group of Bring Back Our Youths who staged a walk against cultism in the state capital. In recent times, there have been cult-related violence in Delta, especially the state capital, Asaba, as several lives have been lost through killings of rival cults. The menace of violent crimes inspired by the evil of cultism has been a challenge for residents of Asaba and its environs in recent times. Today, these young people say the state has had enough of the unrest and demonstrated their resolve with a walk through the major roads of Asaba. Outside Nigeria, 7 people, or rather 7 police officers involved in the arrest and asphyxiation death of a black man in New York State have been suspended 1 day after harrowing footage of the incident was released. Daniel Prude's family on Wednesday released body camera footage from his arrest in Rochester, New York, which showed a group of officers putting a hood over Prude's head as he knelt on the ground, handcuffed and naked. Announcing the suspension, Rochester's mayor, Lovely Warren, said systemic racism led to the death. Mr. Prude died in March, but his death has only just been reported. The 41-year-old died 2 months before George Floyd's killing, which sparked national and international protests against racism and police brutality. Still on police brutality in the U.S., Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has spoken over the phone with Jacob Blake, the black man who was shot in the back by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, sparking big protests. Mr. Blake remains in hospital, paralyzed. Joe Biden, who visited Kenosha, Wisconsin, the place where the shooting occurred, revealed that Mr. Blake said he was not going to give up, whether he walked again or not. Mr. Biden's visits to Kenosha came 2 days after President Donald Trump toured the city, but failed to meet with either Blake and his family. And that's the news update for this hour. We'll be back again after the break.
Welcome back. Now we are taking a second look at the headlines in the papers this morning. Today is Friday, the 4th day of September 2020, and we are starting off with Daily Sun. Anger in NAS over fuel price electricity tariff hike. TUC kicks nationwide protest looms as CUPP mobilizes civil society. Motorists, commuters groan. A photo story here showing motorists queue at NNPC mega filling station, Garki Central area, Abuja, as pump price hike takes effect yesterday. COVID-19, federal government OK's gradual reopening of schools. Curfew now between 12 and 4 a.m. in Abuja and Lagos State, Nigeria. Bandits kill 23 people, abduct 12 in Niger State. Edo gubernatorial judge withdraws from suit seeking disqualification of Eze Iyamu. International flight resumption. Federal government bans Lufthansa, Air France, others from Nigeria. Illegal construction. Lagos seals 16 buildings, serve 3 container terminals notice. And finally, we have security agents killing our members secretly, IPOB alleges. You can grab a copy of Daily Sun to get full information on all these headlines. Moving on to Daily Independent, we have coronavirus latest. We are not ready for full-scale reopening of economy, says federal government. OK's phase 3 of eased lockdown for 4 weeks, adjust nationwide curfew from 12 midnight to 4 a.m., direct opening of NYSC orientation camps, ask schools to start preparing for full reopening. We have a photo story here showing Dakwa Abiodun, governor of Ogun State, presenting a photo documentary of his first year in office to President Muhammadu Buhari during his visit to the president at State House, Abuja on Thursday. Government no longer in the business of fixing fuel prices, says minister. Senators plan showdown over electricity tariff and fuel price hike. Armed bandits kill 20 persons in Niger. Police kill 15 bandits, arrest 50 suspects in Katsina. Now, moving to the top of the paper, we have federal government approves emergency maize importation to avert food crisis. Finally, we have NNPC gets $1 billion to fund upstream operations of NPDC. Now, you can grab a copy of Daily Independent and get full information on these headlines. Moving on to The Nation, we have Edo Ondo 2020. Anger grows as government defends petrol power rates increase. The photo story here, as we read in the previous paper as well. To the top of the paper, we have Abiru Ibezim, a baby, win APC senatorial tickets. Party gears up for by-election. Air France, Lufthansa and others barred. Foreign flights back on Saturday. Zenith Bank posts 103 billion naira half-year PAT. Osun reverses common school uniform policy. Now, you want to grab a copy of The Nation and get full information. Now, the Daily Trust has a couple of headlines as well, and we have soldiers, insurgents killed. Borno Council deserted. Nobody in Guzamala, Abadam Marte, Speaker. Zulum urges Boko Haram fighters to surrender. 290 Darul Salam terrorists nabbed. Bandits kill 17 vigilantes in Niger. Now, to the bottom of the paper, right under the photo story, showing the different petrol stations that have taken on the new fuel prices, we have federal government okays full reopening of schools and NYC camps. 15 bandits killed, 50 others arrested in Katsina. El Rufai receives report on Kajuru, Kachia and Chikun crisis. To the top of the paper, we have farmers worried as government approves maize importation. And finally, fuel price increase unavoidable, says federal government. You can grab a copy and be informed. Now, moving on to the Punch. We have further petrol price hike likely. Marketers warn Nigerians. TUC says government action wicked, demands immediate reversal. We can no longer fund petrol subsidy, says federal government. Now, to the bottom of the paper, we have unions appear as Unilag panel grills Baba Akin for 4 hours. Police threaten surveyor for reporting extortion to Punch. Blasphemy. Convicted Kano musician appeals death sentence. APC affirms Abiru Obafemi as Lagos by-election candidate. Abiodun seeks assembly nod to access 2.5 billion naira health fund. Government schools will drop common uniforms November 9th, says Oshu. And finally, we have PTF approves phased reopening of schools, orders risk assessment. Now, there's so much happening in the papers today. It is very important that we have the accurate information. So go ahead, grab your copy of your favorite newspaper and be informed. Let's go on a break. We have fitness next. Don't go anywhere. Wake Up Nigeria has a bundle of entertainment for you this morning. Let's just be angry and say, you know what?
Why do you have to vex?
We can't take it.
Who's paying? Is Larry Gaga coming with us?
Imagine we all contribute money, we tie our money together.
How much?
So there are different kinds of boats. Which kind of boat are you going on?
Who is Kenu? That kind of boat is on the video now. The yacht.
That yacht.
Actually,
maybe not yours.
Let's
be within our budget.
That yacht.
Let's just rent it.
You don't know those type, but when you're passing, where's the place now? What's bridge now? Falomo.
Yeah.
And I see by the side those two.
Those ones.
Those two. That they are doing 5 and 6. They are doing.
Let's not do that one.
Let's combine.
The will now carry like 4 clothes. We'll now snap pictures. We'll now change.
You know what I think,
So you think that on 4 different days.
You know what I think?
Sounds
like she's done this before.
Obviously. This weekend we'll do living our best life. Next week I'll be just like so stressed. I just gotta chill.
Yeah. I'm taking time out.
Taking time
COVID.
out. Yeah, and then we just hold champagne glass.
In our schedule, actually, we should actually have this in our
So
schedule.
what happens is that when you do for 4 weeks now, then the next one you say, take me back.
Mike knows.
Take me back to the beach. Take me back to the boat cruise.
Take me back to.
Isn't that the Instagram lifestyle? And how many people eventually can keep
pepper
up
them.
with it? No, it's not. That is the same thing now.
Pepper your haters.
So who are you pepper? What? Wait, I really want to understand.
You don't know who you're peppering.
No, wait. Yeah. What is the essence
of
trying to make your haters jealous? They are your haters because they already envy you. You now want to deliberately do it the more.
No, but wait, you really even believe that they are actually haters?
There are different levels of people.
There's no such thing as haters.
She's the one who said
no, I'm saying all the
but generally now, regular.
Words like match us where your ground.
Where your ground.
Flood us where your lecky. Fry us where your dodo.
I've not heard
that
one
before.
before.
When I saw this food, I was all this high. I was like, if I conk you, not that thing. You're not going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to have, I feel like Instagram, it's a place to just, have fun. But it has been
let me let you know. The people you see that are the happiest on Instagram are actually very depressed. Studies
some of
show.
them, not all of them.
No,
they have things they're hiding.
Not all of them.
They have things you don't want you to see.
But we all have things we're hiding. We all have things we don't want to
see.
But the more people try.
I'm not.
Wait.
Sorry.
Where's show me your balance.
What does my balance have to do
with it? You say you're not hiding anything. Let me know how much you have in your account.
Off your mic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do the news once again. The federal government has set to merge the Petroleum Equalization Fund and Petroleum Product Price and Regulatory Agency into one body called the Authority. Minister of State Petroleum Timi Sylvia disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja. Mr. Silva spoke on the need to deregulate, which in turn has now led to an increase in the price of petroleum products. He noted that the country spent over 1 trillion naira on subsidy, and its removal was the only option to guarantee the economic survival of the country. As an alternative to fuel, the minister urged Nigerians to use the liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, and the liquefied natural gas. The new pump price announced by the Petroleum Products Marketing Company means Nigerians will now have to pay more to buy petrol. The subsidiary of NNPC in charge of pricing pegged the new price at which products is sold to marketers at the depots at 151 naira 56 kobo. Motorists are already groaning over the new pump price and calling on the federal government to halt its increment and reduce the current hardship Nigerians are facing. Delta State Commissioner of Police has confirmed the death of a notorious cult member whose killing rampage 2 weeks ago left no fewer than 12 people dead. The police say their action to end cultism in Delta will be sustained until the last cultist is brought to justice. Hafiz Inua stated that while receiving a group Bring Back Our Youth who staged a walk against cultism in the state capital. In recent times, there have been cult-related violence in Delta, especially the state capital, Asaba, as several lives have been lost through killings of rival cults. The menace of violent crimes inspired by the evil of cultism has been a challenge for residents of Asaba and its environs in recent times. The young people say the state has had enough of the unrest and demonstrated their resolve with a walk through the major roads of Asaba. And now outside Nigeria, 7 police officers involved in the arrest and asphyxiation death of a black man in New York State have been suspended 1 day after harrowing footage of the incident was released. Daniel Prude's family on Wednesday released body camera footage from the arrest in Rochester, New York, which showed a group of officers putting a hood over Prude's head as he knelt on the ground, handcuffed and naked. Announcing the suspension, Rochester's mayor, Lovely Warren, said systemic racism led to the death. Mr. Prude died in March, but his death has only just been reported. The 41-year-old died 2 months before George Floyd's killing, which sparked nationwide and international protests against racism and police brutality. Still on police brutality in the U.S., Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has spoken over the phone with Jacob Blake, the black man who was shot in the back by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin, sparking big protests. Mr. Blake remains in hospital, paralyzed. Joe Biden, who visited Kenosha, Wisconsin, the place where the shooting occurred, revealed that Mr. Blake said he was not going to give up, whether he walked again or not. Mr. Biden's visit to Kenosha came 2 days after President Trump's after he toured the city, but failed to meet with either Blake or his family. And that's it on the news for today on Wake Up Nigeria. It's now time for sports with Mike.
Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria, and finally, our chef has arrived. Thank you very much, Alex, for making it here on time. I'm sorry. I know that you're here late. I know that you're flustered. So much going on. Traffic situation in Lagos can be such a burden, but hey. He tried to be here just to make sure that, you know, we have breakfast ready for you watching at home. So today, what are we making quickly?
Okay, so today we're going to be making a regular Nigerian egg roll.
Okay.
But then instead of the dough around the egg roll, we're just going to be using
sweet
potato,
okay,
boiled, mashed, and I'm just going to wrap it around. So the idea behind this is I realized that a whole lot of Nigerian homes, they want to try to make egg roll, but then it's just too technical for them, you know, mixing the dough, baking powder and all of that. So and I think this is a more healthier option as well.
Okay, yes,
so
it is. I mean, like,
yeah. So you have the sweetness, then you have the, so it's just you know, go well.
Okay, now let's talk about the ingredients quickly.
Okay, so the ingredients, as you can see, they're very, very, very minimal ingredients. We have the potato here, you know, peeled, and then we're just going to steam it up. Once it's soft, we mash it up, so we have like a soft dough, kind of. And so we're going to boil.
So wait, when the potatoes are ready and you mash, are you going to add anything to the mashed potatoes?
No, just that. We're probably going to add, you know, our parsley, which is optional as well. Okay. Just something to spice it up. I mean, if you want to add Scotch bonnet, if you want to get some chopped onion in there, so please feel free to play with your food.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like that.
Eggs?
So, and for the eggs, we're going to boil them. Okay. I mean, boil some of them, because of course we're going to be coating the egg roll with the other part of it. So we're just going to boil this up, and then we wrap the potato around
the mashed potato
around
the eggs.
So after that, we're going to have the fresh egg in another bowl again. So once we have the potato wrapped around the egg,
we dip it in the egg, dip it into
the breadcrumbs.
The breadcrumb, and then we just deep fry.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
so that's
so interesting that we are making, you know, Scotch eggs on the show, because I've always wondered, what is that, you know, rough layer, that wrap?
The final layer.
The final
wrap.
layer on
Okay,
the, because I've always wondered, what is it?
The crunchy
yes,
part of the, yes.
And trust me, like that's my favorite part
Really?
of a Scotch egg.
Scotch egg?
Yes, it's my favorite part.
So it just goes.
Love it. I love it so much. And I hear that you could also use beef, like
for Scotch egg, minced
meat.
Yes, usually for Scotch egg, the minced meat comes before this last layer. Yeah, so it's still part of the layering. So that's like the second to the last layer.
Last layer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's get to work. I know that there's still so much work to be done. So first of all, we are going to boil our sweet potatoes because they've been already peeled. And is there any other alternative apart from the potatoes? Like
yes, you can use Irish potato, but then don't just use any kind of tubers. Why? Because there's some tubers that are just going to break apart. I take yam for instance. Yam does not bind together. So if you want to mash yam like that, unless if you're pounding it, it won't come together. Unlike this. So when you just mash this, it's just going to
come together.
Yeah, it can work.
And it doesn't need any binder.
No, egg, just probably a little bit of egg.
So let's just get right to it quickly because yeah. All right, guys, if you're just joining us this morning, Chef Alex is here finally, and we are making Scotch eggs.
Yep.
Are you a fan of Scotch eggs? Do you love Scotch eggs like I do? Well, good for you, because Chef Alex is here and is going to be taking us through, you know, the process of how to make your own homemade Scotch eggs. And luckily, it's the weekend. We have all the time to just wake up whenever you want, get into the kitchen. Breadcrumbs, you could actually make your own breadcrumbs. Did you know that? You want us to teach you a hack or two on how to make your own breadcrumbs? Over to you, Alex.
Okay, yeah, so
make your own homemade breadcrumbs.
Okay, so for homemade breadcrumbs, it's very easy. Just get your bread, your bread from your grocery store or wherever.
Sliced bread, just any kind of
sliced bread preferably.
Okay.
And then if you can't have access to fried bread, sliced bread, you can just use the regular bread.
Okay.
So just use.
Like agege one.
No, not agege, because the processing is quite different. Yes, so agege does not produce crumbs. So once you get your sliced bread, just break it up and then put it in your oven, let it bake, and then once it bakes, you just
let me get you the
board.
Board.
Oh, fantastic! This is fun. Right. So for the breadcrumbs, all you just need to do is once you bake it in the oven, it becomes crunchy, and then you just pop it in the food processor or a blender, and then you just blend it up. So you're just going to get this exactly, very easy.
Very simple. Remember that whilst you're actually looking, the bread has to be dry before you toss it into your
food processor or your blender.
Or your blender, yes, and then you get
very simple. Exactly this
consistency here, like you have here for your Scotch eggs, just in case, or if you're even for your chicken.
Yeah, even for the chicken, you can just use it and then you just bread the chicken up with the breadcrumbs. Yeah, so it goes well.
Yeah. All right, great stuff. Well, I'm not. I don't know if I'm going to try this weekend because it's quite a busy weekend. But I think I'm going to be free sometime next week, and I'm definitely going to try this. But anyway, Alex, let's talk about you. How's it been so far? There's been a lot of changes since the lockdown.
Yes.
Has that affected your business in any way?
Well, I would say that it has. I mean, it has affected almost everybody's business.
Yes, it has.
Same with me, it has in some way because there's been a very, very low rate of patronage. I mean, yes, and also I work in a restaurant, so there's been lockdown, it's been shut down, and then we had shortage of staffs and all of that. But come on, we just have to move on, irrespective of what happens. So I mean, despite the lockdown and all of that, we've been.
You have to move.
We have to move, exactly.
Yeah.
So yes, it has affected, but then I mean we're still here, grinding.
Here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes.
Teaching us how and showing us how to make Scotch eggs and the 1001 recipes that Chef Alex has taught us here on the show. Just in case you want to check up on him, you can check out some of our previous episodes on our YouTube page at TVC Entertainment, and then you see so many of his recipes on there. Yeah. And guys, let's do something interesting. If you're watching at home, are you going to try this over the weekend? Let us know. And if you're trying this, do a short video or even take a picture and post it on your social media, tagging us using the hashtag @WakeUpNigeria. And just, you could also, what's your social media handle?
Alexander Adegboye.
Alexander Adegboye.
Yes.
So you could also tag him as well. Tag us at TVC Connect. Let us see what you have made. Did you try this out? Did it work out well? Did you like it? Did you love it? Let us know.
Okay.
It would be really, really nice to hear from you.
Always.
Do that, okay? All right. So, yes, Chef Alex, right now our potatoes, sweet potatoes are cooking. We're just going to wait for it to, like, you know, to cook a bit. Then we're going to mash it up, and then we are going to boil our eggs, wrap the mashed potatoes in the eggs, and then put it in the breadcrumbs and fry. Very easy process, very simple as well, and economical. You don't have to spend too much.
It is economical indeed.
All right, great stuff happening here on the show. Next up, people, we have Larry Gaga. Hey, Larry Gaga. I know you've heard that name like 1,001 times. We gotta go now. There's still so much more on the show. Please stay with us. That was quite an interesting game. Well done to Mazino and Tokwe, even though none of them won this one. No. But anyways, kudos, guys. All right, so whilst you join us in the kitchen, of course, with me is Chef Alex. Yes. And I know, guys, we apologize. He got here pretty late because of the traffic. We all know and have been victims one way or the other when it comes to traffic in Lagos. But he's here, and we are making Scotch egg. And so right now we're actually just waiting for the sweet potatoes to be ready. And our eggs, of course, which are still cooking. But let's just explain the process so that, you know, some of our viewers can understand it.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to start the explanation of this process by saying, you know, by talking about the idea behind this dish. I mean, why I've chosen to do it this way.
Okay.
First of all, because of time. Okay. Secondly, because of the technicality that comes with, you know, making Scotch egg. So I wanted something
something quick and easy.
Exactly, quick and easy.
Okay.
And then something that is more African. So I said, okay, fine. What can we do? So we're making use of sweet potato. And then making use of our eggs, of course, our hard-boiled eggs. And so what we're just doing basically is that we are substituting the flour, the baking powder, everything that comes with the dough
for the sweet
potatoes. Exactly. So we're just going to mash it up, and then simple. We're going to wrap it around the eggs, and then you know, dip it in our eggs here, and then dip it in the breadcrumbs. Then we just deep fry it. Simple, just simple like that.
I wish this was done. The gladiators are on their way, so that I've been able to, you know, fill up a bit. That is not easy. You want to play with the last day.
Wow, you guys teased me. You did. Wow, there's something I must have not caught up on.
This is where this one is played.
And yes,
good morning.
welcome.
Very well, thank you.
Welcome. And I know that we're supposed to have Larry Gaga, but unfortunately we couldn't. He couldn't join us virtually. We apologize for that. But, well, I'm sure that we had a very
wonderful show. Yeah, we did.
That balloon game was not from here. You now brought game, you couldn't win. I should tell you.
Who stayed and lost?
Anyways,
all right, big shout out.
At least to some extent, you've been able to understand
what we're doing
the
here,
process.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll put it up on social media. When we're done, we'll put up the complete stuff. Check out our page at TVC Connect on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You see the final thing, right? Yeah. Thank you for being a part of today's show.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. We're going to see you on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.